This is Michigan's retirement coach, Mike Douglas.
Right now could be one of the best times in most recent years to make a Roth conversion. But why is that? Let's discuss. So, first of all, Roth conversions, they've been a hot topic in your world, Mike, for the past several years. However, despite all the advantages, it can be a tough pill for people to swallow because it does mean you're going to pay, it's the long game. You pay taxes now instead of later. IRA expert Ed Slott says recent tax law changes may have quietly created one of the best windows in years to make the Roth conversion move work in your favor. He says new rules around inherited IRAs, required minimum distributions, and today's unusually low tax rates are reshaping the Roth conversion conversation. So what's up? What do we need to know?
All right. So the reason you're hearing so much talk about it is because of some law changes that happened actually back in 2020.
Okay.
So let me give you I'm not going to make it too nerdy, but about a 1-minute history of the IRA.
Okay.
So before 2020, if you inherited an IRA from somebody, you were able to take that money and stretch it out over your lifetime. They basically said, all right, if I'm like right now, I'm 42. So if I inherited an IRA from my parents at age 42, I had an expectancy table up to age 85. I could stretch it out from now till age 85. I had to take out a very small distribution, like 1%, 1.5% every year, and it would increase every year. But by the time I got to age 85, it would run me out of money. If I didn't want it, I could disinherit some of that money to my kids who are under the age of 18, and they could take out a very small portion at their tax bracket, which is 0. And they could take this money out of a pre-tax IRA, never been taxed. So it would go from never taxed when you put it in, never taxed when your employer put it in, never taxed when the market grew it. You pass it on to me. I disinherit it to my kids, and they can never pay taxes on it as they take it out. It was called a stretch or multi-generational IRA.
No, you just said never taxed. You were talking, but that's if it was a Roth.
No. This was a strategy before 2020.
I'm sorry, you're right. This is why we have these conversations, because it's so confusing. Please continue. I'm following now.
So again, and a lot of people didn't realize you could do that. But again, I had 9 months from the time I inherited to disinherit some of my kids. And if my kids are under the age of 18 and they don't have a tax, like they're allowed to earn up to the deductions that they get, a certain amount of income, and not pay any taxes on it. So their distributions every year would not be taxed. Okay. So
but that was
it was
before.
A beautiful system we used before 2020.
Okay.
Then the Secure Act passed, setting every community up for retirement. Also robbing us of one of the greatest ways that we could pass money on to the next, second and third generations without paying taxes on it. So what they said in 2020 is, all right, now if you inherit money at age 42, I have 10 years to take it out of that account. And I don't have to, I can pay taxes as I go. At the time they said there's no required distributions on it. You just have to take it out by the end of the 10 years. We said, all right, well, I can't stretch it over the next 43 years, but at least I have 10 years to take it out at my own discretion. Then in 2023, they came out and said, and also remember in 2020, they had the CARES Act passed, no RMDs that year. Then in 2023, they came out and said, hey, actually, we do want you to take RMDs out of every year. We just never told you about it before. So we're going to forgive you for not having done it the last 2 years.
But you got to start now.
Even though they didn't tell us we had to do it.
Okay.
You got to start now.
Oh,
so now when you inherit an IRA, if I'm 42 and my parents leave me $100,000, well, then now I have 10 years to take it all out and pay taxes on it. And I have to take out a certain portion every year. It's an inherited IRA. It's a required minimum distribution. So why does Ed Slott say this is a great opportunity to do this Roth conversion?
Yeah.
Well, if you are in your mid 60s, if you are really any age younger than that, but even if you're still in your 60s and you haven't started your RMDs yet, your required minimum distributions, you should consider doing Roth conversion, because now using today's very low tax brackets, using these extra $6,000 per senior on Social Security deductions that we get, using all these things for a married couple, 65 or older, if they're receiving Social Security, you get about $47,000 in deductions. Standard.
Okay.
Because you're taking Social Security, because you're over 65 and your standard deductions, $47,000 in deductions every year. That's a lot. So you can Roth convert quite a bit of money, pay very little in taxes on it, and then make it tax-free the rest of your life. So that's a big benefit to you. It's also a really big benefit to if you have a desire or plan to leave money to your kids or grandkids, converting it to Roth now is a good opportunity to let it grow tax-free for the future. So when they inherit it, because when a kid or grandkid inherits a Roth IRA, the same 10-year rule applies, but there's no taxes on it because it's Roth. So they do have to take out a certain portion. So $100,000 inherited at 42. Over 10 years, I have to take out that money, and there's a percentage I have to do every single year. At the end of the 10th year, whatever's left has to come out and go to me. However, since it's Roth, I don't pay any taxes on any of it. Okay. So it's a tax-free inheritance.
Okay.
So that's why he's saying that the big push right now, and we're seeing a lot in our practice, the big push right now is let's Roth convert as much as we can. Because if we can get it all converted before my RMDs kick in, I don't have to take any money out. Roth IRAs, as the law state today, you don't have to take any RMDs out of them. So if it's a Roth, it can stay there the rest of your life, untouched, unfettered, undistributed. Down the road, if you need money out and you don't want to pay taxes, pull it from your Roth IRA. But you can get rid of the RMDs. And then in the future, if they raise tax brackets or if they change the laws or this, that, you're in. You've got your Roth. It's funded. You got rid of your pre-tax IRA money and you got it all converted to Roth. That's a good strategy for a lot of people. Even they think, oh gosh, I'm retired. Did I miss the boat? No, you didn't miss the boat. Now my RMDs have kicked in. Is it too late to do that? It's not too late to do it. You still can do it. There is a point of diminishing returns where if I do it, how long does it take to recoup the money from a Roth conversion? And that's a calculation we need to do. But if you think about the fact that if I live another 10, 15 years and then my kids have 10 years to take it out, that's 20 to 25 years for this money. Well, that's a lot of tax-free growth in a Roth IRA, still probably worth it. So it's a really valuable tool. And Ed Slott, the king of the Roth conversion, the king of the IRA tax strategies, he's dead on when he says this is a unique opportunity. Because as baby boomers continue to pass money on to the next generation, the largest transfer of wealth in the history of our country is happening right now. Now, through the next 20 years, as baby boomers come through the retirement system, they pull back from the economy by paying off debt, getting rid of mortgages, and no longer taking on big levels of debt. And then they pass the money on to their kids. That is a transfer of trillions of dollars from one generation to the next. If we think the IRS has done tampering with that, you're way off. They're going to keep trying to tamper and tinker and find ways to get more of that money.
Yeah, of course.
And what you can do now is take advantage of the situation now, which is Roth IRA is Roth IRA, pay the taxes, let it grow tax-free. And then when your kids inherit it, they don't pay any taxes. That's a win-win. It does cost some money right now. Now, there are those people who watch and say, it's not my kids' money. It's my money. Whatever they get, they can pay taxes on.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I understand that completely. However, it is your money and it is your savings. It is the time and the years and the contributions you put in. If you take 30 years to build $1 million and now because you don't want to deal with taxes, the kids overpay by $200,000. How long did it take you to get $200,000 in that 401k? 10 years, 15 years? And now you're giving away 10 to 15 years of savings because you didn't want to deal with it.
Right.
So even if you say it's not my kid's problem, it is your money. And by letting the government take an unnecessary rip off the top, you are giving away money and savings you put away. So I disagree with the thought that it's not your problem. The kids will end up cutting a check, but you might as well build a legacy strategy that says, how do I keep as much of the money I've saved and earned inside the family? And again, I have 4 kids. I'd rather my kids get it than the government. Right. I'd rather just about anybody get it than the government, if I can be honest. I could find a charity off the side of the road that I'd rather have it go to than the government.
That's right.
I'd like to think that we all spend our money better than the government does. So what should we be doing? Finding ways to pay what we legally have to, but also strategize using a long-term plan to say, over the next 20, 25 years, I'm supposed to pay all this money in taxes. Can I use Roth conversion now to bring that number down? And if the worst happens and I pass away, how do I make sure my kids don't just get money ripped away from them because of a 10-year forced distribution? So that's a great way to think of it. A lot of opportunity to save money, to keep money, knowing that RMDs are coming, knowing that the stretch IRA is gone, and taxes are very low today compared to any place in history and probably any place the rest of my life. I can't imagine taxes being much lower over my lifetime. I got about 39 trillion reasons to think they're going to go up. So when they do, let's not act surprised like, oh my gosh, can you believe taxes went up? Yes, I can believe taxes went up. We spend at a deficit. We live
outside of our means.
Our country spends like a sailor on leave.
Yeah.
It's a sailor on leave, right? They come back and they blow through their paycheck the first time they hit the dock. And that's kind of what we do as a country. The key idea here is you're going to pay taxes on money. It's just a question of when and how much. So you might as well do it when it favors you and your family, not when the government gets to come in after the fact and say, heads up, bang, 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 you got to pay all these bills.
Right.
Let's deal with it proactively so that the government doesn't come in and just do their thing.
Obviously, there's lots of advantages to Roth conversions for many people for lots of different reasons. But before you go running off and start converting your money, it's important to know, because there's good, bad to every single thing, Mike. That's another thing we talk about all the time, whether we're talking about different ways to save your money, invest your money, et cetera. There's good and bad to everything. So we need to also keep in mind how it can affect our Medicare, our Social Security, those kinds of things. Because, I mean, you've seen case scenarios where people have come to you where they did a Roth conversion and they did it wrong. I mean, right? I mean, I've heard stories.
Oh, yeah. People don't realize that the Roth conversion I do this year affects my Medicare premiums 2 years from now.
Right.
And so those things happen. And when they affect your Medicare premiums, they raise Medicare premiums. And how do they get their Medicare premiums? They withhold it from your Social Security. So your Social Security check goes down because of Roth conversion you did 2 years ago. And that needs to be built into the strategy. Say, hey, just so you know, if we do this 2 years from now, you're going to feel, or you can go up to the limit. Make sure you just don't go over it. Don't recklessly Roth convert.
Okay.
Find out where the thresholds are and stay under them.
Yeah.
It's a decent number. Like you can make your AGI be upwards of almost $200,000 before it's a problem.
Okay.
So don't just recklessly convert. There are times though when it makes sense. Let's do this conversion, knowing in 2 years I'm going to lose $100 a month in Social Security. It's still worth it as long as we're not surprised by it.
Right.
We just don't want to get that surprise letter in the mail in March saying, "Hey, heads up, no more. Your Social Security is taking a big cut this year." Build it into the strategy. And that's why it's important to work with someone who is not just a tax person, but an investment financial planner that also understands both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
Because a good CPA helps you not overpay in taxes. A good financial and tax planner says, hey, it's worth it to pay more this year for the long-term benefit. Again, we want long-term information to inform our short-term decisions.
Yeah.
So we want to have that partnership. Don't overpay where you can avoid it, and decide to pay more when there's a benefit to it. Okay. So that's that relationship we need to have. And unfortunately, people just go to one or the other. Don't pay any taxes because paying taxes suck. I agree with that. Or people say Roth convert everything because you want to get it onto Roth. Right. And then they don't tell you you're going to have a Medicare premium or Social Security issue.
Right.
So it's the partnership of all of it.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand all the rules, that's why we have people like us who understands the rules and says, here's all the things we need to consider before we make this one decision.
Right.
And once we understand that, the decision actually makes itself. It's pretty easy.
Make sure all the chips are out on the table in front of you, that you know how everything is going to connect into each other and how it's all going to play out. Because when it comes to Roth conversions, there's lots of opportunity, but it can easily be messed up and mess you up if you don't do the math correctly, if you don't use the correct strategies. So if you've got questions about Roth conversions because you're hearing everybody talk about them and you're wondering how much you could save on taxes, it's one of Mike's favorite things in the whole world to do, besides watching his kids play basketball, is helping people pay less in taxes. So go to our website, michigansretirementcoach.com. You can find information there about how to connect to Mike and his team and begin the conversation about how a Roth conversion might work for you and your retirement savings. We also have links posted in the show notes, or it's michigansretirementcoach.com.
Thanks for listening to Michigan's Retirement Coach with Mike Douglas. To learn more, visit michigansretirementcoach.com.
Michael Douglas is an investment advisor representative of Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Michael Douglas is licensed in your state, please call 517-323-7526. Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Michael B. Douglas, NPN number 9650939.